Have you ever stopped to wonder if the life you're living right now is truly yours, or if it's just a collection of habits you never consciously chose? Think about it for a moment. Every morning you wake up, every decision you make, every hour that slips through your fingers, it all builds the life you will look back on years from now. And yet most of us drift through our days on autopilot, letting time vanish without noticing the impact of our own choices. There's a quiet weight to that realization, isn't there? A mix of regret and longing that whispers you could have done more, you could have been more. It's easy to convince yourself that transformation is complicated, that real change requires years of struggle, sacrifice, or perfect conditions. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful than you realize. What if I told you that 2 focused hours each day, just 2, could redirect the course of your entire life? That small, deliberate investment of time repeated day after day is all it takes to break the cycle of drifting and step fully into the life you've imagined but never thought possible. Imagine looking back months from now and realizing that every small step, every ounce of effort has compounded into something extraordinary. That is not wishful thinking. That is the science of focused action, and it is available to you starting today. You might feel hesitation creeping in. Thoughts like, I don't have the time or I'm too tired might surface. Those are normal. Everyone feels them. But here's the hard truth. Your future self doesn't care about your excuses. Your future self only remembers what you chose to do, what you committed to, and what you showed up for every single day. Every day you delay is a day wasted, a chance for growth, mastery, and fulfillment that slips quietly away. But every day you commit, even for just 2 hours, you are building a bridge from the life you live now to the life you've always dreamed of. Think about the person you could become. Think about the energy you could feel, the clarity you could experience, the confidence that comes from knowing you are in control of your own destiny. That person exists right now waiting for you to make the choice to show up. And it starts with something simple, something manageable, yet so profoundly transformative. 2 hours of focused, intentional action every single day. These 2 hours are your sanctuary, your proving ground, your launch pad. They are the space where you learn, grow, and create without interruption, where you turn the abstract dreams in your mind into tangible, unstoppable momentum. By the end of this video, you will not only understand exactly what to do with those 2 hours, but you will also feel the urgency, the clarity, and the emotional drive to begin immediately. You will see that this is not another vague promise of change. It is a concrete, actionable habit that can reshape your mind, your skills, and ultimately your life. And when you embrace it fully, you will finally understand the power of showing up, not once, not sometimes, but every day. 2 hours. That's all it takes. 2 hours today, and a world of possibility opens up tomorrow. The life you've been waiting for isn't waiting for anyone else. It's waiting for you to claim it, and it begins the moment you decide to take action. Every choice you make, every action you take is quietly wiring your brain, shaping your identity, and determining the trajectory of your life. Habits are not just routines, they are the invisible architects of who you become. When you wake up and go through your day unconsciously, reacting to notifications, obligations, and distractions, you are surrendering control. You are handing your power over to circumstances that have no loyalty to your dreams, no stake in your future, no understanding of the person you long to become. And yet, the remarkable truth is that change is not only possible, it is inevitable when you consciously decide to build habits that serve your highest self. The brain is not fixed. It grows. It adapts. It strengthens in response to repeated action. Every time you choose focus over distraction, courage over comfort, consistency over convenience, you are literally reshaping your mind to align with your dreams. Most people underestimate the power of daily intentional action. They imagine that monumental breakthroughs require monumental effort, but the reality is far simpler. It is in the accumulation of small, deliberate actions that transformation occurs. Every great mind, every extraordinary life is built on repetition, on discipline, on a quiet, unrelenting commitment to do what must be done, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it feels invisible. Habits are the engine, and your 2-hour daily commitment is the fuel. Those 2 hours are not just time spent. They are time invested in the version of yourself that you want to become. Every second compounds. Every moment of focus reinforces your identity. Every choice to show up sends a signal to your brain, this is who I am. The paradox of habits is that they feel small in the moment, almost insignificant, yet their impact is enormous. One day of focused effort may feel like nothing. One week may feel like a drop in the ocean, but give it a month, 6 months, a year, and the difference is seismic. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, your skills improve, your energy aligns with your purpose, and all of it starts with the conscious decision to show up consistently without excuse for the time you have set aside to transform yourself. The subtle, almost invisible discipline of a single daily habit becomes the cornerstone of an extraordinary life. Your environment, your mindset, your daily rituals, they are all either supporting you or quietly sabotaging you. Most people blame luck, circumstance, or talent for the results they see, but the truth is far simpler and far more empowering. Results are the product of deliberate, consistent action. When you take control of your habits, you take control of your life. You become the architect of your destiny, not a passenger on the whims of chance. Every small, intentional choice you make sends a ripple outward, shaping your behavior, reinforcing your identity, and amplifying your potential. Imagine the person you are becoming after weeks of dedicated effort. Imagine the energy, the focus, the pride that comes from honoring your commitment to yourself. That person is not hypothetical. That person is waiting built from the choices you make today. And those choices do not require perfection. They require persistence. They require courage. They require the willingness to start small, to embrace the process, and to trust that your daily actions repeated without fail will sculpt the life you've always imagined. The power is in your hands. The moment is now. And the life you want is waiting for the decision you are ready to make. 2 hours. It sounds simple, almost laughably small when you compare it to the endless to-do lists, the mountains of responsibility, the weight of expectation pressing on your shoulders every single day. And yet, those 2 hours hold more power than months of wasted effort, more impact than years of aimless drifting. In that time, focused and undistracted, you can achieve more than most people do in a lifetime of scattered energy. This is not exaggeration. It is a truth rooted in how the mind, the body, and the world respond to deliberate effort. The universe rewards consistency, precision, and intensity of focus. When you dedicate even a fraction of your day to purposeful action, everything begins to align. Doors that seem closed begin to open. Clarity replaces confusion. Confidence replaces hesitation. You start to feel the quiet power of momentum building under your feet. Those 2 hours are a sanctuary. They are your refuge from distraction, your personal arena for transformation, your laboratory for mastery. Every minute spent with intention rewires your brain, strengthens your willpower, and sharpens your skills. Every choice to show up, every moment spent fully immersed in your growth, sends a signal to your subconscious. You are someone who acts, someone who creates, someone who refuses to settle. That signal grows louder with every passing day until resistance, procrastination, and fear no longer hold the same weight they once did. They become challenges to overcome, not chains that bind you. You are no longer a passive observer of your life. You are the conductor, directing your energy with purpose, shaping your world with focus, and carving a path that leads directly to your highest potential. Think about the compounding effect. One day of effort may feel like a drop in an ocean, almost meaningless. But the ocean is made of drops. 1 week of showing up may feel invisible, but the ripple spreads further than you can see. 1 month of dedicated, undistracted practice transforms your mind, sharpens your focus, and reshapes your confidence. A year of this commitment builds a life that others might call extraordinary, yet you will know it is simply the natural result of consistent, purposeful action. Every hour invested, every moment honored, every habit repeated becomes an invisible force, reshaping your identity and your destiny. There is no magic in talent, no secret in luck, no shortcut around showing up. The magic exists only in the 2 hours you claim for yourself every day. The power is in your hands, but it only works if you act. You cannot borrow tomorrow to fix today. You cannot rely on motivation alone because motivation comes and goes. What lasts is the discipline you cultivate, the decisions you make in the quiet moments when no one is watching, the commitment you honor even when the world is busy distracting you from your purpose. This is where true transformation is born, not in grand gestures, but in the steady, unyielding rhythm of daily action. Now imagine yourself 6 months from now. The skills you are building, the focus you are cultivating, the identity you are reshaping, they are tangible. The person you are becoming is unrecognizable compared to who you were before you made this choice. Your confidence radiates. Your energy flows. Your purpose is clear. That vision is not hypothetical. It is waiting for the 2 hours you are ready to give. Those hours are the seed. And when you plant them with consistency, water them with focus, and nurture them with courage, there is no limit to how high your life can grow. 2 hours a day is all it takes to ignite a transformation that will define the rest of your life. The 2 hours you claim for yourself each day are not just about time. They are about identity. They are about deciding in no uncertain terms who you are and who you refuse to be. Most people live their lives by default, allowing circumstances, opinions, and distractions to define their path. They drift through days filled with tasks that do not matter, energy spent on things that leave no lasting impact, and moments surrendered to fear or indecision. But when you dedicate 2 hours each day to focused, purposeful action, something extraordinary happens. You begin to see yourself differently. You begin to act differently. Your mind starts to rewire, aligning your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions with the person you want to become. You are no longer a bystander. You are an active creator, building your life moment by moment, decision by decision. This is the essence of transformation that starts internally, in the choices you make when no one is watching. Your daily habits are the sculptor's tools, and every minute spent in intentional focus chips away at the old version of yourself, revealing a stronger, sharper, more capable identity beneath. The first hour is your mindset, your vision, your clarity. This is where you define the life you are committed to living, where you visualize the skills, the achievements, and the confidence you desire. By seeing it, feeling it, and affirming it daily, you begin to internalize it. Your brain cannot tell the difference between vivid visualization and lived experience, and when you feed it the image of your highest self consistently, it begins to demand action that aligns with that vision. Your thoughts start to align with your goals, your focus narrows, your drive becomes unstoppable. The second hour is where transformation takes physical form. It is where vision meets action, where your identity is tested and strengthened. This is deliberate practice, the application of focus, the building of skills, the pushing of limits. It is where comfort is left behind and resilience is forged. The moment you commit to showing up consistently for this hour, you are telling your mind, your body, and your soul that you are not a passive participant in life. You are a force. You are someone who does not wait for permission, validation, or perfect circumstances. You are someone who understands that mastery, growth, and freedom are built on repetition, discipline, and courage. Every day you invest in this habit, you are rewiring the story you tell yourself. You are shifting from someone who dreams but hesitates to someone who acts with purpose and consistency. You are creating neural pathways that reinforce courage, discipline, and focus. You are training your mind to crave progress, to seek challenge, and to embrace the discomfort that signals growth. And over time, the cumulative effect is staggering. You no longer feel small. You no longer feel powerless. You begin to embody the energy, the confidence, and the clarity of someone who is unstoppable. 2 hours a day may seem insignificant at first, but it is the gateway to everything you have ever wanted. It is the catalyst for your evolution, the engine of your transformation, the foundation on which your extraordinary life is built. When you honor this commitment daily, you are not just learning or practicing, you are becoming. You are becoming the person who can achieve anything, overcome anything, and live a life defined, not by limitation, but by possibility. The moment you take ownership of these hours, you take ownership of your future. And that is a power that no one can take away. The first hour of your 2-hour habit is the hour that defines your clarity. It is the time when you decide what matters, what you will pursue, and who you are committed to becoming. In this hour, you do not react. You create. You set the tone for the day, the week, and ultimately, your life. Your mind is the battlefield, and clarity is your weapon. Without it, even the most disciplined action can become scattered, wasted, or misaligned. But with it, every move you make is precise, intentional, and powerful. You begin to see patterns, opportunities, and possibilities that were invisible before. You start to understand yourself at a deeper level, your strengths, your fears, your potential. You begin to align your actions with your highest vision, and in doing so, you create a magnet for progress and success. During this hour, reflection, planning, and visualization become more than exercises. They become rituals that reshape your brain, strengthen your focus, and awaken your purpose. When you take the time to define your goals with specificity, to see the life you want as clearly as if it already exists, your mind begins to unconsciously pull you toward that reality. Motivation becomes internalized. Decisions that once felt heavy and uncertain now feel guided, natural, inevitable. You begin to act from a place of strength, not reaction. Fear loses its grip. Procrastination loses its power. You start to experience the quiet but unstoppable force of deliberate action, and it changes everything. The power of this first hour is not in the effort alone. It is in the alignment it creates between your mind, your purpose, and your actions. When you consistently dedicate time to this clarity, your brain begins to crave it. It begins to prioritize what matters. Distractions fade. Energy is concentrated where it counts. You begin to feel a sense of control and direction that most people never experience. A deep confidence that grows from knowing exactly who you are and exactly where you are going. And this is not abstract. It is tangible. It manifests in sharper decisions, stronger focus, and a profound sense of inner power that radiates through every aspect of your life. Your vision becomes your compass. Each day as you honor this hour, you reinforce the neural pathways that make clarity automatic, instinctive, and unshakable. You stop drifting through life, reacting to every external pull. You start to navigate with purpose, with precision, with unwavering commitment to the person you are becoming. And as you step into that clarity, the second hour, the hour of action, becomes infinitely more effective because every movement is guided by insight, foresight, and deliberate intention. Imagine waking each day with a mind as clear as glass, free from doubt, distraction, and indecision. Imagine the energy you would carry, the courage you would feel, the unstoppable force that would surge through every choice you make. That is the power of the first hour. It is the foundation upon which your transformation is built. Without it, even effort can falter. With it, 2 hours a day becomes a life-altering force. It is the anchor of your discipline, the spark of your focus, and the beginning of the unstoppable journey toward the extraordinary life you were always meant to live. The second hour is where transformation becomes tangible. It is the hour where vision meets action, where clarity turns into results, and where the person you are becoming proves themselves through deliberate, focused effort. This is not the hour for distraction, hesitation, or half-hearted attempts. This is the hour where you push past comfort, where resistance is faced head-on, and where your potential begins to take physical form. Every minute spent in focused effort rewires your brain, strengthens your skills, and builds a muscle of discipline. It is in this hour that the seeds planted in the first hour grow into roots, sturdy and unshakable, anchoring you firmly in your path of progress. Deliberate action is not just about doing, it is about doing with precision, intention, and purpose. When you engage fully in this hour, you create momentum that compounds far beyond what feels possible in the moment. Every choice to remain present, every refusal to be distracted, every push to do more than yesterday reinforces the belief within yourself that you are capable, strong, and unstoppable. Your brain begins to recognize effort as progress, focus as power, and persistence as identity. Each day you honor this hour, you are reshaping not just your abilities, but your very perception of what you are capable of achieving. The paradox of growth is that the hardest moments are often the most powerful. When discomfort rises, when fatigue sets in, when your mind whispers excuses, that is precisely the moment where transformation occurs. The second hour trains you to lean into discomfort, to embrace challenge, and to see struggle as the vehicle for mastery. The person who endures the 2 hours, day after day, emerges stronger, sharper, and more resilient than the person who avoids discomfort. Resistance is not the enemy. It is the signal that you are on the path of true progress. Every push through doubt, every repetition of deliberate action strengthens your identity and reinforces the belief that you are not defined by fear, hesitation, or circumstance. Focus is the ultimate amplifier of effort. 2 hours of undistracted, purposeful action produces results that scattered weeks of activity can never match. Your skills deepen, your confidence grows, and your momentum becomes unstoppable. Every day you invest in this hour, you are not only building competence, you are building the unshakable certainty that you can achieve what you once thought impossible. The cumulative effect is profound. Your brain begins to crave focus, your body begins to crave challenge, and your mind begins to operate from a place of power and clarity. Imagine the transformation after weeks, months, and years of this consistent practice. The person you become is disciplined without effort, resilient without strain, and powerful without arrogance. That identity is forged in the second hour, refined through consistent, deliberate action, and solidified as an unbreakable foundation for your life. This is where dreams stop being abstract fantasies and start becoming realities you can touch, feel, and live. 2 hours a day invested with clarity and intention is the most powerful decision you can make. It is the moment when your future begins to take shape, when your potential becomes undeniable, and when your life starts to shift in ways that cannot be undone. Resistance is inevitable. It is not a sign that you are failing or that the path is wrong. It is proof that you are stepping beyond the boundaries of your comfort, beyond the safety of what is familiar. Fear, doubt, procrastination, they are not enemies. They are signals that growth is happening, that change is imminent, that your mind is being stretched to accommodate a stronger, more capable version of yourself. The people who achieve extraordinary lives are not those who never feel resistance. They are the ones who acknowledge it, confront it, and push through it anyway. Every time you choose action over hesitation, courage over comfort, you are strengthening the part of you that refuses to settle for mediocrity. The key is understanding that motivation alone is unreliable. Motivation comes and goes. It is fleeting, fragile, and often dependent on external circumstances. Discipline, however, is unshakable. Discipline is the muscle that allows you to show up even when you do not feel like it. It is the force that turns the 2 hours you commit into unstoppable momentum. When resistance arises, and it will, discipline carries you forward. It is the bridge between intention and results. It is the quiet power that transforms effort into achievement, struggle into growth, and action into identity. Every time you fight through resistance, you are creating a feedback loop that strengthens your brain and your character. The more you act despite fear, doubt, or distraction, the more you reinforce the belief that you are capable, resilient, and unstoppable. Your mind begins to internalize this identity, and it becomes automatic. You stop questioning whether you can because you already know the answer. You stop waiting for perfect conditions because you understand that transformation occurs in imperfect moments, in the spaces where most people quit, hesitate, or settle. This is the difference between ordinary lives and extraordinary ones. The willingness to act when it is hardest, to remain consistent when it feels invisible, and to trust the process even when results have not yet appeared. Resistance is not something to avoid, it is something to harness. It is the signal that you are on the path that matters, the path that challenges you to rise, evolve, and create. Every struggle, every uncomfortable moment, every second spent pushing past excuses is an investment in your future self. Those 2 hours you commit each day become the arena where fear is conquered, focus is strengthened, and identity is forged. You are not just completing tasks. You are building the inner architecture of a life that cannot be shaken by circumstance, setback, or doubt. Imagine the person you will become when resistance no longer dictates your choices. Imagine the energy, the clarity, the unwavering confidence that comes from knowing you will take action no matter what. That version of yourself is not distant. It is already emerging, sculpted by every moment you choose courage over comfort, action over hesitation, and discipline over fleeting motivation. Each day you honor your 2 hours, you are proving to yourself and to the world that you are capable of extraordinary growth. Resistance is not a wall, it is the threshold to your transformation, and every step through it brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. Every action you take compounds whether you notice it or not. The small steps, the moments of focus, the decisions to show up every day They are not insignificant. They are the invisible forces shaping your future, building momentum that grows faster than you can imagine. The mind, the body, and the habits you cultivate respond to consistency, repetition, and intensity of effort. What feels minor today becomes monumental over time. One day of effort may seem fleeting, one week may feel invisible, but months of dedication create a foundation so strong that the life you once only dreamed of becomes inevitable. The compounding effect of deliberate action is relentless. It does not wait. It does not forgive neglect. It rewards only those who persist, who commit, who refuse to quit. Every time you honor your 2-hour habit, you are not just building skills, you are building belief. You are telling yourself, in the most undeniable way possible, that you are capable of more, that you are worthy of growth, that your dreams are not only possible, but inevitable if you are willing to do the work. Your brain begins to internalize this identity. Confidence replaces hesitation. Momentum replaces procrastination. The life that once felt distant begins to feel attainable because your actions are no longer random. They are deliberate, focused, and aligned with your highest vision. You are no longer drifting through circumstances, you are creating them. You are no longer hoping for progress, you are engineering it. The power of compounding is invisible at first. It is quiet, subtle, almost imperceptible, but it is unforgiving. Every day you do not act, every moment you choose distraction over focus, every excuse you indulge delays the exponential growth that your life is capable of achieving. And yet, every day you act, every hour you dedicate, every ounce of effort you put into becoming better compounds into something extraordinary. Your confidence strengthens, your clarity sharpens, your capabilities multiply. And soon the person you see in the mirror no longer resembles the one who hesitated, who doubted, who settled. They resemble the one who acted with relentless discipline, who embraced discomfort, and who honored the invisible power of consistent effort. This is the quiet, unstoppable force that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. It is the force that turns small, intentional actions into remarkable results. It is not flashy. It does not seek attention. It works silently, relentlessly, until the results speak for themselves. Your 2 hours a day, invested with intention, focus, and courage, become the snowball rolling down the hill, gathering strength, speed, and unstoppable momentum. Each repetition strengthens the neural pathways of discipline, resilience, and mastery. Each day reinforces the identity of someone who does not settle, someone who does not quit, someone who refuses to allow circumstance to define their life. Imagine the life you will be living months from now if you honor this process. Imagine the confidence you will feel, the clarity you will hold, the sense of power that comes from knowing you are in control of your destiny. This is not hypothetical. It is the inevitable outcome of the decisions you make today. Every second you invest in your 2-hour habit compounds into results you cannot yet fully see but will experience in ways that transform not just your skills but your identity, your energy, and the trajectory of your entire life. The momentum is yours to claim. It is waiting for your commitment. Transformation is not something that happens by chance. It is the product of deliberate design, daily commitment, and an unrelenting focus on the habits that shape who you are. Your environment, your routines, and the way you structure your days either support your growth or quietly undermine it. The people you surround yourself with, the spaces you occupy, the distractions you allow, they all have a cumulative effect on your identity and your potential. Excellence is not achieved in chaos or through random effort. It is built in environments that amplify focus, that minimize resistance, and that reinforce the behaviors of the person you are becoming. Every choice you make about your surroundings either strengthens your commitment or chips away at it. Your environment is not just physical, it is mental, emotional, and social. Every thought you indulge, every belief you reinforce, every influence you accept shapes your trajectory. Most people underestimate the subtle, invisible power of these factors, yet they are among the most significant predictors of success. When you create an environment that supports your 2-hour habit, you are making it easier to follow through, harder to give up, and impossible to ignore. Clarity, focus, and momentum thrive in spaces where distraction is minimized and intention is maximized. Your environment becomes a partner in your transformation, silently reinforcing the identity you are building until showing up becomes effortless and resistance becomes temporary. Every element you surround yourself with either elevates or diminishes your potential. Remove what does not serve your growth. Surround yourself with reminders of who you want to be, tools that facilitate focus, and people who elevate your standards. Protect your time fiercely. Guard your energy relentlessly. Discipline is reinforced when your environment reflects the commitment you are making to yourself. Small, intentional adjustments to your space, your schedule, and your interactions create an invisible scaffolding that supports the habit of consistent action. 2 hours a day, practicing the right conditions, produces results far beyond what scattered effort could ever achieve. The brain responds to cues. The mind thrives on structure. When you design your environment to support excellence, your habits become automatic, your focus becomes instinctive, and your growth accelerates. You stop relying on willpower alone because the conditions themselves make it easier to act. Distractions fade, excuses weaken, and momentum rises. You begin to feel the natural alignment of intention, environment, and action. You feel unstoppable, not because every moment is perfect, but because every moment is structured to reinforce the person you are becoming. Imagine a life where your environment actively supports your growth instead of undermining it, where every element around you, the spaces you inhabit, the people you interact with, the tools you use, amplifies your focus, your clarity, and your power. That life is not theoretical. It is the inevitable result of intentional design, daily commitment, and the refusal to allow chaos, distraction, or convenience to dictate your results. The 2 hours you dedicate each day, reinforced by an environment built for success, become an unstoppable engine for transformation. Your surroundings are no longer obstacles. They are accelerators. Every detail, every cue, every influence aligns to push you toward the life you were always meant to create. Accountability transforms potential into reality. The commitments you make in isolation are fragile, easily swayed by distraction, doubt, or fatigue. But when you measure your progress, track your actions, and hold yourself responsible, something remarkable happens. Your brain begins to respond not just to intention, but to evidence. Every completed task, every hour honored, every small victory becomes proof that you are capable, that you are consistent, that you are building the life you desire. Accountability turns abstract goals into concrete reality. It forces your actions to align with your intentions, and it creates momentum that grows stronger with every passing day. Tracking your progress is not about perfection. It is about clarity. It is about confronting the truth of your efforts, celebrating wins, and correcting course when necessary. When you document your daily commitment to your 2 hour habit, you transform vague ambition into measurable results. Your mind begins to crave consistency, your habits begin to reinforce themselves, and your confidence grows with every check mark, every note, every record of persistence. You begin to see your evolution in real time, and that visibility fuels motivation in ways mere hope or wishful thinking never could. Accountability also magnifies focus. When you know that your actions are being tracked, whether by yourself, a journal, or a trusted partner, distraction loses its power. Excuses become harder to justify. Hesitation fades because the act of measurement brings clarity, attention, and a sense of responsibility. Your 2 hours are no longer an abstract promise. They are tangible, undeniable, and unavoidable. Every moment you dedicate becomes a statement to yourself and to the universe. I will not compromise my growth. I will not delay my progress. I am here, committed, and unstoppable. The psychological power of accountability extends beyond the moment. It rewires your identity. The brain learns through repetition, evidence, and reinforcement. Each documented success, each consistent effort teaches your subconscious a powerful lesson. You are someone who shows up, someone who honors commitments, someone who achieves what others only dream of. Over time, this internalization becomes automatic. Motivation no longer fluctuates because the identity you have built compels action. You act not because you feel like it, but because it is who you are. Accountability is the mechanism that bridges the gap between desire and reality. between potential and performance. Imagine looking back after weeks, months, or even years of consistent, measured effort. Imagine the confidence you will feel, the clarity you will hold, and the undeniable proof that you are building the life you always envisioned. Every small action, every tracked hour, every completed task compounds into a life defined not by luck, circumstance, or fleeting inspiration, but by deliberate, relentless, unstoppable commitment. The 2 hours you dedicate each day, reinforced by accountability, become a fortress of progress. They make your transformation inevitable, measurable, and undeniable. You are no longer hoping for change. You are proving it, documenting it, and living it every single day. Your mind is the engine that drives every action, but emotion is the fuel that makes it unstoppable. Clarity, discipline, and accountability set the direction, but without emotional engagement, even the most structured plan falters. The brain responds to what it feels, not just what it knows. When your goals are tied to deep personal meaning, when your actions resonate with your values, your purpose, and your vision, they take on a magnetic force that propels you forward even in the face of obstacles. Emotion transforms effort into energy, and energy transforms energy into results. The 2 hour habit you are building becomes more than a routine. It becomes a source of passion, motivation, and unstoppable drive. Your emotional connection to your goals is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. It is what turns hesitation into action, doubt into confidence, and procrastination into relentless focus. When you feel the power of your vision, when you immerse yourself in the energy of what you are capable of, your brain begins to prioritize growth automatically. Challenges no longer intimidate you, they excite you. Setbacks no longer discourage you, they motivate you. Every moment of effort becomes infused with purpose. Every action reinforced by a deeper understanding of why you are doing it. This is the emotional architecture that sustains long-term transformation. The intensity of feeling that you bring to your daily practice amplifies everything else. Focus becomes sharper, learning becomes faster, resilience becomes unbreakable. When you tie your 2 hours to your deepest desires, you create a psychological feedback loop where progress feels exhilarating, not exhausting. Your brain associates effort with reward, your habits strengthen themselves, and your identity begins to reflect the person who is capable, committed, and unstoppable. You begin to act not from obligation, but from desire, from inspiration, from the undeniable pull of your own potential. Motivation becomes self-sustaining because it is no longer external, it is embedded in who you are becoming. Every day, as you dedicate time to your 2 hour habit with emotional intensity, you are shaping your future self in ways that will be impossible to ignore. Your confidence grows, your clarity sharpens, and your energy aligns with purpose. The subtle, invisible work you do now compounds exponentially, creating momentum that carries you forward even when conditions are imperfect, when fatigue sets in, or when obstacles arise. Emotion, focus, and consistency converge to produce results that feel effortless because your identity is now aligned with your actions. You are no longer struggling against yourself. You are moving with the force of your own conviction. Imagine a life where every day is fueled by this kind of emotional power, where each hour of focus is charged with purpose, meaning, and unstoppable energy, where your actions, your habits, and your environment all reinforce the person you are becoming. That life is not a distant dream. It is the inevitable outcome of combining clarity, action, accountability, and emotional intensity in a daily practice that honors your highest self. Your 2 hours a day invested with this kind of emotional fuel become the engine of transformation that carries you toward the extraordinary life you were always meant to live. Visualization is the bridge between who you are today and who you are becoming. Your mind cannot achieve what it cannot see, and yet most people underestimate the power of seeing their success with crystal clarity before it manifests in reality. When you visualize your goals with intensity, when you feel them as real, when you immerse yourself in the emotions of achievement, your brain begins to prepare your body and mind to make them inevitable. The neurons fire as if the vision is already true. Your confidence rises, your focus sharpens, and your actions begin to align naturally with the person you see in your imagination. Visualization turns abstract dreams into actionable pathways, and it makes the 2 hours you dedicate each day infinitely more powerful. Every detail you imagine, Every sensory element you engage strengthens the connection between intention and action. When you see yourself succeeding, you begin to feel the energy of that success, the confidence, the momentum, and the pride that accompanies it. Your brain interprets those feelings as real, and your body responds by acting in ways that make the vision achievable. Motivation becomes intrinsic, almost effortless, because your desire is no longer abstract. It is a felt reality. Every day you take those 2 hours to act with focus and purpose. Your visualization primes your mind for progress, turning effort into inevitability and dreams into measurable growth. Visualization is also a tool for resilience. When setbacks arise, when doubt surfaces, when resistance pushes back, the mental rehearsal of success anchors you. You remember not just what you are doing, but why you are doing it and what it will feel like when you achieve it. This emotional and mental rehearsal strengthens your resolve, reduces hesitation, and enhances your ability to endure discomfort. You begin to move through challenges with purpose because the end result is already vivid in your mind, and every action becomes a step toward making it real. Your 2 hour habit transforms from a task into a ritual, a daily affirmation of your capability and potential, reinforced by the mental imagery of your highest self. The power of visualization compounds when paired with deliberate action. Seeing your success fuels your focus, and focus fuels results, which in turn reinforces your vision. Your mind and body begin to operate in harmony with your goals, and your progress accelerates exponentially. You start to act with certainty because the pathway has been rehearsed in your mind. You begin to trust yourself, trust the process, and trust the power of consistent, intentional effort. Each day becomes a rehearsal, a step, a victory that inches you closer to the life you are capable of living. Imagine waking each day with your goals already alive in your mind, with the confidence and clarity that comes from knowing exactly who you are becoming. Imagine the energy you would feel, the decisions you would make, and the unstoppable force of a mind fully aligned with its vision. That is the power of visualization combined with focus, disciplined action. Those 2 hours a day are no longer just a habit. They are a laboratory for transformation, a forge where your identity, skills, and destiny are being shaped. The life you desire is not distant. It is being built every time you see it, feel it, and act on it with unwavering focus. Consistency is the invisible force that transforms effort into mastery and mastery into freedom. It is not flashy. It does not seek attention. It works silently, relentlessly, day after day, until the results speak for themselves. Most people underestimate the power of showing up. They assume that motivation alone will carry them, that talent alone will suffice, that occasional bursts of effort are enough. But the truth is far more profound. Transformation occurs not in bursts, but in the quiet, relentless rhythm of daily action. Every day you honor your 2 hour habit. No matter how small or invisible it feels in the moment, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken, a momentum that cannot be stopped. Consistency is what allows you to bridge the gap between vision and reality. It is what transforms a dream into a skill into achievement, and achievement into identity. Your brain responds to repetition, your body adapts to challenge, and your mind internalizes progress as part of who you are. When you show up every day, even when it feels difficult, when excuses arise, when resistance fights to pull you away, you are sending a signal to yourself that you are capable, committed, and unstoppable. You are not relying on fleeting motivation or luck. You are creating results through intentional, repeated action. The small steps taken consistently compound into extraordinary outcomes that are invisible at first, but undeniable over time. Every day you maintain this rhythm, you are reinforcing the neural pathways that define your new identity. You are becoming someone who does not quit, someone who thrives on challenge, someone who moves forward regardless of circumstance. Habits are not neutral. They define you. By committing to consistency, you are actively sculpting the version of yourself that is disciplined, courageous, and capable. You are creating a standard that will not allow mediocrity, doubt, or distraction to dictate your results. The 2 hours you dedicate daily are not just minutes. They are the building blocks of excellence, the foundation of mastery, and the evidence of your growing power. Consistency also builds trust in yourself. When you follow through day after day, you internalize the belief that you are reliable, that you can overcome obstacles, and that you have the capacity to achieve what you set out to accomplish. This self-trust becomes the fuel for even greater action. The more you prove to yourself that you can maintain focus, dedication, and courage, the more naturally you will push beyond limitations, explore new possibilities, and embrace challenges that once felt impossible. Every day reinforces your identity as someone who does not merely dream, but does. Imagine the life you will have built after months of unwavering consistency. Every skill honed, every habit strengthened, every challenge faced and overcome compounds into a version of yourself that is unstoppable, confident, and fully in control of your destiny. This is the power of consistency. It makes transformation inevitable. 2 hours a day repeated without fail is not just a habit. It is the engine that drives your evolution, the proof that you are capable, and the force that will carry you toward a life far beyond what you ever imagined possible. Focus is the catalyst that turns consistency into extraordinary results. You can show up every day, you can commit to your 2-hour habit, but without focus, effort becomes scattered. Progress slows, and potential is left untapped. Focus is not merely attention. It is a deliberate, unwavering alignment of your energy, your mind, and your actions with the most important objective at hand. It is the mental discipline that allows you to cut through distraction, silence doubt, and operate at a level that others cannot reach. When you master focus, your 2 hours become exponentially more powerful, and your transformation accelerates. The human mind craves stimulation, novelty, and distraction. Left unchecked, it drifts, fragments, and wastes energy on what does not serve your purpose. Focus is the guardrail that channels your energy toward what truly matters. It allows you to enter a state of deep work where time feels elastic and every second is charged with purpose. In these moments, your actions are not just productive, they are transformative. The skills you build, the confidence you gain, the progress you make during periods of sustained focus far outstrips any scattered or half-hearted effort. Focus transforms ordinary time into extraordinary leverage, multiplying the impact of every action you take. Focus is also a muscle that strengthens with use. Every time you eliminate distraction and give your full attention to the task in front of you, you are training your brain to resist impulses, prioritize what matters, and operate at peak efficiency. Over time, this mental discipline becomes automatic. Your ability to concentrate intensifies, your decisions become sharper, and your productivity becomes unstoppable. The 2-hour daily habit you are committing to is not simply a period of action. It is a laboratory for mastering focus, a practice that will reverberate into every area of your life, creating clarity, precision, and excellence in ways that spill over into every choice, every task, every relationship. Focus also fuels confidence. When you act with purpose, undistracted by noise, the results are undeniable. You begin to trust yourself, trust your ability to learn, grow, and achieve. Confidence and focus feed each other. The more you concentrate and achieve, the more certain you become of your capabilities. That certainty then fuels even greater focus, and a cycle of unstoppable growth emerges. Your brain, your habits, and your identity begin to reinforce the same message: you are capable, disciplined, and unstoppable.